that the call had any further implications, tweeting this, quote, "The president of Taiwan called me today to wish me congratulations on winning the presidency. Thank you," end quote. Meanwhile, Trump's senior advisor, Kellyanne Conway, says this was no different than other previous phone calls between presidents and world leaders.
As president-elect, I'm pretty certain that President-elect Obama spoke to world leaders in preparation for taking over as president of the United States and commander-in-chief, and I can't imagine that he was asked here or elsewhere if he had been properly and fully briefed, considering that he had very, very little experience himself.
But this is a break with U.S. policy. I mean, this is uncharted waters, not since, for decades.
Anderson, President-elect Trump is fully briefed and fully knowledgeable about these issues on an ongoing basis, regardless of who's on the other end of the phone.
All right, let's go to CNN's Ryan Nobles, who is live outside Trump Tower. So, Ryan, what more do we know about how this call was orchestrated, if the U.S. State Department was in any way notified beforehand?
Yeah, Frederica, and we know that the State Department knew nothing of this call before it took place. In fact, they didn't find out about it until after the fact. And, a State Department spokesman telling CNN that they are always available to the transition if they have any questions or need to avoid any potential landmines in phone calls like this. And this is, of course, raising eyebrows across Washington, making many of Trump's critics wonder if this is an example of his lack of experience, especially when it comes to foreign policy. Well, Kellyanne Conway said last night on Anderson Cooper's show that the president-elect knows exactly what he's doing.
It's a matter of the executive committee. It's a matter of the president-elect, the vice president-elect, other advisors to the transition making suggestions, and we're happy to schedule the calls. It's a very orderly process. We make sure that there's plenty of time for those phone calls, that there's proper briefing. And so far, they've just gone really well. He, at least, is having these private conversations, giving a readout here and there about them, but not trying to make policy and not trying to make waves until he's actually the president in 6.5 weeks.
And Trump's advisors say that this is not an indication that the president-elect has any intention of moving away from the one China policy, which has been policy here that the United States has observed for several decades. But there is some question as to how this phone call was set up. As you said, Donald Trump tweeting last night that the president of Taiwan called him. But we do know that a Trump senior advisor was in Taiwan at the time of the call. And Reuters is reporting that a spokesman for the president of Taiwan said that the call was scheduled ahead of time. Now, it's also important to point out that while there have been many critics of this conversation with Donald Trump and the president of Taiwan, there are some that believe that Trump made the right choice, including Arkansas Senator Tom Cotton, who is a tough critic of China's and believes that the United States needs to do more to foster that relationship with Taiwan. Frederica?
All right, Ryan Nobles outside Trump Tower. Thanks so much in New York. Coming up, we'll talk more about this.